Hi, welcome to Noise Podcast for the Sorry Ghost. We're going to ask some questions today. I'm going to start. So what inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
Okay, what inspired us to start? Let's see. Well, Matthew and I, we knew each other back in high school, but we sat next to each other freshman year of college in an American history class.
Shout out to Dr. Frost.
Dr. Frost.
Love Dr. Frost.
Yeah, we love him. And basically, the original inspiration was I just wanted to start like a fast, loud skate punk band and just kind of like just be really angry and be 18. And then I enlisted your help.
Yeah. And I had been also listening heavily to a particular band from New Orleans called Pears. That's like a hardcore pop punk sort of mashup band. They're really great. And I had really gotten into sort of heavier music. I mean, we both mostly listened to like your classic like pop punk and emo like standards like Taking Back Sunday and Blink-182. And we both sort of just gotten into this sort of like more like skate punk, hardcore punk type sound. And we're like, we want to do this. This sounds fun. And then we're like, oh, it's so hard to build an audience. So like harsh, you have to really, really like be super good. And we're like, we're gonna just take the easy route and write pop punk instead, and reap all the benefits.
All right.
And then I just joined because I wanted to hit things with sticks to in school. So yeah,
Right.
we met at actually volunteering at the
Yes.
Special Olympics.
Yes. We love volunteering.
Yeah.
And so
And-
we were doing
Yeah.
that.
Just
And
came across each other.
yeah, and then recruited Tyler, and then the name comes from, originally the name was Sari, Sari, kind of like the Indian garb,
Yeah.
but that was problematic in many ways, and
None of us are Indians.
None of
so
us are
It was
Indian.
kind of out of left field.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we also realized like if you Google searched it, nothing would show up, so we
We just
kind
did
of
like dresses.
yeah, I
mostly.
was like, come buy a dress. So
Yeah.
we one day we were like, let's change it to sorry something because we wanted the pun of like we're sorry, and then we originally were just gonna be we stole it from Ghost, right?
Well, yeah, so it sort of ended up as being we're like, we just like the sound of Sorry Ghost, and our name also doubles as an apology to the Swedish metal band Ghost for failing to live up to their greatness.
Right.
So
Okay.
like we want to be like them, but we can't, so we think the least we can do is apologize directly to them. So Sorry Ghost.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys can't make Swedish metal? That's not going to happen?
It's just, I mean, look, we've tried, and we're just not Swedish, so it's
Oh yeah.
That's part of
all
it.
right.
so
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So, congrats on your newest release, The Morning After. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Much
Miles.
better than we
Yeah.
expected. Yeah.
Oh, we thought we were done.
Yeah,
Oh.
we really were. We were kind of done as a band, and we had this whole album recorded, and it just had been kind of sitting for months and months, and like we were all off like just doing other things, and then pretty much we just got back together and like we got to put out this album, but we thought it would be sort of just like a final release thing, and then we put it out, and it did like way better than we expected, and it got a good bit of press and people that were interested in it. And so we were pleasantly surprised by the response, and then we were like, well, guess we're gonna do this now, because we all enjoy it, we all love it. It was just kind of like, I don't know, I think we were just sort of done at that
Yeah.
point before. Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
it
that's
very
fair.
much felt like the album was going to be like our swan song. We're like, here's what we've done. Like this is our entire, because we've been a band since like 2015, and then we've been a band with Tyler since like 2018.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, this is like the culmination of like Dan and I's like 5 years of work, and Tyler's like two years of work that really like can't be overstated how much that 2 years made a difference to the end product. But we're like, this will just be like the last thing for like, we do have people who do care about our music, and we want to be able to put out this thing, but then that'll just sort of be the first and the last thing that we sort of ever do. And then we were so pleasantly surprised by
Right.
the reaction of being like so overwhelmingly positive. We're like, well, we all like this. We just thought no one else did. So like I guess
Yeah.
so we're happy to get back to the grind.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I think we all kind of had like this, like we're latching onto this hope. Like it was back there. And they're like, oh, this will never happen. And then it did. And we're all like, wait a second.
Yeah.
That
Like-
wasn't supposed to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We never anticipated success, so
Right.
we're like now we're trying to backtracking to be like, what do you do when things go the way you want them to, but not the way you expected them to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking
Congrats.
at your stats. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I was not expecting that. So that's really cool. Congrats, guys.
We're in the same
Yeah, right.
boat.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about your writing process and how it's changed since those first years as a band?
Yeah. So most of the stuff is all like basically I'll write sort of the skeleton of the song just on an acoustic guitar, and that's kind of always been. And then I will sort of bring this like 75% finished idea of a structure to Matt and Tyler, and then they'll kind of pick it apart and say, you know, we should add a riff here, or Tyler, obviously, since he plays drums, will be like, this is how we should work in the beats or certain rhythms here. And we kind of build off of that. But Tyler, you've been bringing us into the 21st century here recently.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's what I do best now.
Yeah.
I'm from the future, actually.
Yeah.
Guys.
Oh my God, that's
bro,
crazy.
that's crazy. What's the future like?
And I mean, I know it
Yeah.
says Fernandez,
But
but
it's not
Yeah.
really. No, yeah. I've been listening to a lot of contemporary stuff and just like been inspired by it, and I kind of wanted to bring that influence into our stuff and trying to convince them.
yeah.
So,
Well, it's like Daniel and I almost exclusively listen to like the same singular album from 1999 over and over.
All right.
To really come to terms with the idea that like music is not written the same way as it was when like Enema of the State came out. That like there's ways to do it now, like where you can use like technology
Whoa.
and like actually have a really like hands-on songwriting process where it's not just like, you know, we're a band so we write songs live. So I was like, no, we can track everything into the computer and demo it with like literally like limitless possibilities of like move this part here, chop this part, shorten this part. And it's taken like Stone Age Daniel and I a little minute to like warm up to, but it's this new batch of songs that we're kind of working on right now. It's hugely helpful to be able to pick them apart like piece at a time on a
Yeah.
computer rather than having to like play the same parts over and over until you hate the song.
And lyrics
Wow.
are always last too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
At the end, just I'll throw over some lyrics. I'm always amazed when people write lyrics first and then fit it into music they've written. I don't know how people do that, but it's not what we do here.
All right.
Lyrics are an
Okay.
afterthought. It's just,
After that. All
They
right.
just don't matter.
No, it could be anything.
So, where
All
was your
the stuff.
headspace while writing the morning after?
It was a lot of places.
Yeah. It's also over such a long time. Like that
Yeah.
album was
Yeah.
written from like early 2018 up until like even some of the songs were even earlier. But like when we were writing it, it very much wasn't written like we're writing an album. It was like we're writing songs, and then they sort of all came together as an album. But a lot
Yeah.
of that's that sort of thing.
Yeah. My headspace was really, like Matt said, so I mean, kind of encompassing our senior year of college. So sort of this idea of like growing up and, you know, figuring out where you sort of fit into the world outside of kind of the bubble of college and education and everything. And so it was a mixture of that. It was a mixture of just sort of course, breakups are always
Common occurrence in Dan's life.
right. Yeah, all of the women that just never called me back, and then just kind of personal stuff, family, you know, things like that, and
Just growing as a person through all of that.
yeah,
Right, but the whole process is kind of cathartic. I feel like for
Yes.
each and every one of us in a
yeah,
way.
definitely, yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
We try to keep it optimistic at the end always.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
We've been described as optimistic emo because I'm not a huge fan of sort of just like sad all the time. I try to kind of remind myself and hopefully remind others to keep an optimistic sense.
Yeah.
And one
All right.
that I think is like very apparent in Dan's lyrics is even if songs are sort of about the feelings towards a person or towards a situation, I think Dan does a really good job of there's never blame in the lyrics. It's all just introspective. Like, this is how I'm feeling about this thing and growing from it rather than saying this is so-and-so's fault or this is because of this person. It's always this sort of desire to be to find growth from it rather than to just wallow in the negative emotions. And I think that's what I think that's something that a lot of people find unique in our music, that they sort of latch onto, is like, oh, I don't come out of this song like hating the person that it's about. I come out understanding where both of you are coming from and knowing that you're both human, making decisions and sometimes mistakes along the way.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, very well put.
Afterthought, though, so don't worry.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they have a deep meaning.
Yeah, they don't matter. Deep meaning though. So can you tell me why you guys chose the name for the album, The Morning After?
Because all the other ones were terrible. Every other name was,
Alright, that's fair.
we had so many names in the works.
Yeah.
They were.
Well, and it was actually originally the album was going to be 2 EPs because we were like, we're going to keep going. So what our plan was to release an EP worth of songs as singles and then package it as an EP, and then release 4 more songs as singles and then package it as another EP. And then we kind of like reached the point where we're like looking to wind down from it. So we're like, let's just do it all as one album and we can just kind of like put it out there. And we had so many titles floating around that matched some of them, like Plan B was a title for a while,
Yeah.
but it was just going to be like the first EP. Yeah, exactly. Great. I can tell by your face that you think that's a great title, Glory. And we had just like at one point we were going to call it Breakfast of Champions.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because
The All-Star Special.
All-Star Special
All-Star
because we love
Special.
Waffle House.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
No,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All-Star Special.
Okay. All right. We'll write it down to keep that one.
We'll
in our
use
back
that again.
pocket.
Okay, good. Yeah, I like that one.
We liked it, but we're like, does this sound too much like this is like a baseball themed album, like All-Star Special, and like this track like Grand Slam,
Yeah.
home run, and then,
Yeah.
baseball band. But yeah, so no, I think Morning After it sort of at first was like tongue in cheek because it's just like it's breakfast on the cover, but I feel like Dan, I feel like you managed to ascribe like an actual legitimate meaning to it.
Yeah, I would say the meaning behind it too is that like it's sort of broad enough that the morning after can encompass a million different emotions, and whether that's optimism or regret or kind of hopefulness, just or joy, all of these things sort of fall under, and that's the meaning I like to give to it, is that everyone can kind of pick what their morning after is.
Oh, okay.
That's really cool.
No matter how good or bad a day is, there's always the next day. Like
Right.
Yeah.
if you make it to the next morning, you can handle it. And there's always, whether it's a great day or a horrible day, there's always another day after it.
Yeah.
Wow. All
Okay.
right.
There's that optimism again. Again.
Yeah.
You
Love
love to
it.
see it. Yeah,
Love to
love
see
to
it.
hear it. So, what band or artist influence do you think you can hear on the record?
Well, definitely from me, Saves the Day. I love Saves the Day, and
Taking Back
a lot of Taking Back Sunday too. Those were big for me. I was listening to a lot of them when I was writing. I mean, I always listen to a lot of them, but yeah. So I'd say that from me. You guys.
I feel like my drumming was so rooted in like my origins in like metal. I grew up playing a lot of heavy stuff, so I listened to Slipknot from pretty much when I was kids until now.
Yeah.
Still presently listening to them. So there's a couple little like things in there that I do on the drums that definitely are derived from that. And then I think just some of the more modern stuff. Like I've been listening to this band called Slaves. I don't know if you've heard of them.
We interviewed them.
Yeah, we spoke to them actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, I got the chance to meet them too after a show in the House
That's so
Blues.
cool.
I mean, they're so good. I love the way they write music. So I feel like that kind of contemporary vibe is what I tried to add.
Mhm.
All right, very cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we all definitely have our own influences, but like I think a lot of the root influence for us comes from some of the same bands like Green Day and Blink-182, and we try not to lean too hard into those because like we already all three sort of like grew up with those kinds of bands, and if we all just like lean into that, we're just gonna like write a Green Day song or like
Yeah.
so I think we all try to pull from a little bit more out there influences. Like somebody that I was like heavily inspired by when I was learning guitar is John Frusciante of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Mm.
And he's still my favorite guitarist, and like I know he's a popular choice for like a favorite, but a lot of his sort of like rhythmic, like almost percussive style playing as opposed to just like playing straight chords informs some of the more like rhythmically interesting parts. Like in one of our songs, Nosedive, the verse very much has a rhythm to it rather than just like, oh, I'm just strumming along chords. It has a feeling to it that kind of keeps a groove going, and I think that that's something that you don't hear as much in like pop punk music. So trying to keep that sort of different influence in there is important for us.
Okay.
All right. So you said this record took like 2 years to put together. What song took the longest to write from start to finish?
Morning Glory.
Well, Morning Glory saw the most iterations. Like I think we must have written that song like 5 or 6 times.
Oh wow.
It's
Yeah.
You said, "Oh wow." Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. That one, almost like by the end of it, it was almost like 2 different songs that we sort of mashed together, because we had like so many different versions, and like at one point the chorus was in like 3/4, and it just like we couldn't quite figure out how to make it work. But we sort of like just kept coming back to that one. But in terms of like which one,
maybe it's either that one or Nosedive, actually,
Yeah,
which is funny because that one ended up being the most popular song on the record.
So
And
it's worth it.
yeah, and that one just like it was really picked apart, every single part. I remember going over to Tyler's apartment, and he would play on a keyboard like, this is what I want, what he thought the melody should be, and kind of look at each and every part. So that one took several months to string together.
Before you
and-
find it in its like final iteration.
Yeah, so that one for sure. I feel like our songs either take like 10 minutes to write and we're like, this is the song, or they take months and months. There's never like, this song took a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Solid. So, how did you guys choose the opener and closer for the album? Did you write them to be that way, or did you just kind of shuffle it around and they fell into that spot?
I wrote, so 5 Minute Drive, the closer, I did kind of intentionally, when I was writing it, I was kind of, this feels like something like kind of a wrap-up song. And I like, this will either be at the end of an EP or the end of an album. And so that one was pretty intentionally done. And it's the longest song, and it was like, no one's going to want to listen to a 4.5-minute song in the middle of the album, so just stick it at the end.
We can trick them to listen to all the way through the album.
Right.
They'll
And then Bumper Cars, more so that one, we wrote it, and that's like the opening staple of all of our live shows, and we'd been doing that for a couple of years. And when it came time to sort of pick the album order, we just sort of were like, this one is just the opener. It's always what we've done for live, at least.
Right, and that's the song I think that saw probably the most success, I'd say, beforehand. Like we released it as a single first,
Right.
And the music video, got a bunch of views that
Yeah.
was super cool to see, and we just wanted to open it up with energy. So
that was really the big thing, is that song starts like right out of the gate with this energy that really carries it through the rest of the song, that we think sets up the tone for the whole album. Like it's not a super heavy song, it's not very long, it's not really sad. Like it sets the tone for the feeling that we want you to kind of have for the whole album, of this like this conflict, but it has this optimism to it that we think really just like sets the stage for the 10 tracks that follow.
Yeah.
All right. I
Wow.
agree.
Sick.
So from your discography as a whole, when shows were a thing, what were your top 3 songs to perform live off from your discography?
New Hampshire for me out of the gate.
Oh,
That was just so fun to play on drums. Like, I just like. It reminds me of when I was 13 practicing Slipknot. Like, you just kind of just hit stuff and then
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
crazy.
Makes noise.
And then for me, my favorite live, I might do Bumper Cars, just because did I take yours? Now you gotta pick a different one. Bumper Cars, just because it's like, now it was always such a fun opener, and it really kind of got the crowd going. And we would usually do this thing where Matt and I would stand out on the sides, and Tyler would start drumming, and then we would like run on in playing,
one person at a time.
playing the riff.
That
And it
sounds
was,
so cool.
it was always just a really great opener for live.
Yeah. There's no better song live than the first one, no matter what song that it is.
Mhm.
Because that's the one that frankly like will make or break the whole show. Like if you can sell people on that first song, you're gonna have a good show. Like they're already on board. Like nobody wants you to fail. But if your first song just doesn't go as you'd like it to, you spend you have no momentum. You spend the rest of the show trying to convince the audience to be back on your side. And I feel like Bumper Cars was just a hit every time. The energy is there. It doesn't drag. It gets right to the point. It's so easy to build that interest.
But you can't take mine. So
No, but I can't insist that I thought of it first. Another one that I actually really like is a similar one is Triangles.
Oh,
that
yeah.
frankly is of the album is the oldest song in the album. I mean, it's so old it's actually on our first EP, like
Wow.
a dip of Triangles
Right.
from like 2016. And that one is one that like frankly we've gotten, particularly Daniel and I, we've been playing that song for so long where it's like I have to use about like 1% of my brain to play that song. So I have so much energy to engage with the crowd and to walk around the stage and to like go over to Dan or like go over to Tyler and like mess around with the drums or like, you know, jump off of the drum stage and everything. Like there's so much that you can do with the song that you know, like forwards and back, that like Triangles is always fun to play because it's like, oh, I can kind of turn my brain off and just really perform the song rather than having to play the song, if that makes sense.
If
Yeah.
you ever put it up though, I'll say condescending because it's the first time that like you can hear the audience like sing back.
Yeah, that's so
That was probably the coolest thing I've ever
that's
experienced
the
in my
most fun
life.
thing.
Like
playing
to
a song
imagine,
and
like
having
people,
the audience know the words and sing it back to you.
It just man, something about that makes me feel like a rock star, and I'm never letting it go.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Wonderful. So how did you guys get signed to Dark Humor Management? How did that happen? Is there a fun story behind it?
Pretty much. So Tate, our manager, he's our golden boy.
Greatest.
God,
Yeah.
Love Tate.
Yeah.
he's great.
Right. He pretty much like keeps us together as like a functioning band. But we pretty much, so we'd wanted management for the longest time, and we were always like, you know, we'd always heard management will find you. You don't find management. I was like, I don't believe it. So I'd send out like 300 emails, all these emails.
Yeah.
And like no one would respond, or they'd be like, not interested. And so it's like, oh man. And we pretty much just like, it is one of those things, like I feel like the second you stop thinking about it, it happens. And we were doing our thing. We were working hard. Tyler had a fantastic idea where he was like, hey, why don't you just go ahead and record like a 15-second Twitter cover of Don't Overdose and Drive, which is right. And that's obviously Happy's like lead single. And so I just did a little acoustic cover, and then Happy retweeted it. And then about a week later, and so we've only been working with Tate now for like 3 months.
Yeah.
But about a week later in May, we opened up our email inbox, and he was like, management interest, and basically sent this really nice email. It was like, I've been watching you guys for a while, and I'm just really impressed, and I would like to hop on the phone and kind of figure something out. So yeah, we did that, and it's funny, in the 3 months since, I just feel like we've accomplished just so much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So much.
Oh, happy
crazy.
for you guys. Yeah.
That's
Thank
so cool.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been like in the same way that the growth, like once Tyler joined the band to the album was far more than pre-Tyler. The growth from Tate to now has been like exponential. Just having someone being able to say like, this is a good idea, this is not a good idea, you should do this, let me reach out to this person that I know. It's just like, it streamlines so much of the like, not like actively detrimental decisions that we make, but like just ones that are just like a waste of time. Like having somebody who's like, I've been there, this doesn't work, or I've been there, this does work. It just like makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
Rolling Stone.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would love in 5 years to be definitely doing this full time. And we've always kind of said like, because Tate asked us this too. And I think originally we were like, in 5 years, it'd be so cool to be selling out like 200 cap venues. And he was like, I want you to think even
Higher.
even
Yeah,
beyond
bigger.
that. Yeah. And honestly, in 5 years, I would love to be kind of at the point where we are touring full time. We are hopefully kind of selling out 2,000 cap venues, and just really, I don't know, just, I mean, for us, it's always been about just trying to reach as many people as we can, and just making those connections with more and more people, because that's the best part about all of this, is just sort of that person-to-person connection. So yeah, and hopefully then being able to live off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Awesome.
Yeah.
So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music and go straight to death row. So, if you're on death row, What would your last meal be with a drink?
With a drink.
With a drink. Don't forget the drink. It's very, very important.
Don't forget the Diet Dr. Kelp.
I want a Krabby Patty. No, you mentioned it.
I
Honestly,
mean,
yeah.
Uh,
God, let me think. That is a great question. I
the
love
drink
food so
too.
much.
The drink is the
That's-
tricky
No
part.
one's ever had a drink.
Right, right.
I'm stuck.
Okay, mine. Oh, okay. I think I would know. Mine would be like, just a homemade bowl of like delicious potato gnocchi.
Oh my God.
yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
I
and
love
just
gnocchi.
right, like made by some Italian grandmother, especially for me as I, ascend into or descend into the afterlife. And,
Laterally to the afterlife.
and yeah, just like that with just a simple kind of tomato sauce and some Parmesan sprinkled on top, and then like some basil.
Mhm.
And for my drink, I would do.
Big old tall glass of milk.
I do love milk, so that's the running thing. Is like I love.
Yeah, that's the face you should make.
Yeah,
Because Dan drinks a gallon of milk a day. He's
But
a monster.
this would be like straight from just like the most fertile cow, and she just like has the best milk.
You're making it somehow less appealing.
Yeah,
You're describing it in such a different way. Wow.
So that would be mine, is a good like fertile glass of milk.
Nice fertile glass of milk.
Fertile.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sounds
Okay.
yummy.
I feel like I can't top that.
You can't
Yeah,
top
you
that.
can't.
It's impossible.
Yeah,
Gnocchi and fertility in his answer. Like,
exactly. What else do you want?
yeah, I mean, just
I want Daniel's meal, but then I don't know. We can share it. No, we
You
can't
can't
share
take it. You guys just
You're right.
taking my
All right,
idea.
you know what?
Don't take
Mine-
his fertile milk.
Exactly.
Hold on. Have you guys ever had the pleasure of experiencing Wagyu beef or like the Kobe
Oh,
beef?
I work with
haven't.
it at work, but I haven't eaten it.
Unbelievable. Oh man, I've been treated to it once and I still think about that day. I dream about it every night.
good luck.
Yeah. It's so good. So maybe I would go with that. But then the drink, I really like pineapple juice, but I feel like that's a weird combination. But I'm sticking with it.
That's
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
gnocchi and milk is also a. So I think pineapple juice and beef is
But as
fun.
long as the pineapple juice is like nice and virile. Like,
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
See, I feel like I've got to almost go like the simple route of like, for me, nothing beats just like a really good burger and fries.
Mhm.
Like, I would honestly go like, I don't know from where. Like, I just recently discovered In-N-Out, and they're pretty great. But like, there's just I'll accept the perfect burger from wherever, nice crisp fries, and then a Neapolitan milkshake.
Solid. Yeah. Good.
Just one.
I just want
Yeah,
In-N-Out.
Matthew
Exactly.
is
Just
right.
in and out. Yeah.
All right.
Slightly more like maybe a Wagyu beef In-N-Out burger.
In and out. That's an interesting.
Thinking about it, I kind of want just Matt to cook me my last meal because I've recently found out he's probably the best chef that I know.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And now,
Oh.
yeah, so little tidbit about Matt. So I just let him choose my last meal.
I'll make you a nice chicken tikka masala right before they
Oh,
strap
man.
you into the
Ooh.
chair.
That was bad.
Right.
Right.
Right before they check
No.
in the chair. So if you
But
could
yeah,
live,
no, putting that one on that might make it last a little bit. Tyler.
you're frying it on the electric chair for him.
Bruh.
So if you could live in
Right.
one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Pokemon.
Ah,
Solid.
absolutely
Easy.
right. All right. Okay, give me a minute.
Okay, you can have Pokemon.
No, I've never played Pokemon. I just like the idea of like my world would just be one where I can communicate with animals. Like pick a world where that's a thing, and Pokemon seems to be like the
Digimon.
Okay, I get Digimon. I get
Yu-Gi-Oh.
I get knockoff Pokemon.
Yeah.
Harry Potter would be super.
That's actually all right.
Yo. What would your house be in Harry Potter?
I took the quiz and I got Gryffindor, but
Okay.
It was-
Alright, that's fair. That's fair.
it was really close.
Really close. Okay.
God, I don't
Daniel,
know my
what's your
fictional world. I try to stay rooted in reality. You know?
So SpongeBob?
Yeah. Oh, That's a really good one. Thank you.
SpongeBob. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Bikini Bottom. And Bikini
Mhm.
Bottom for sure.
It's pretty close to reality. so.
Daniel's
Yeah. It's
perfect
very close.
with just fresh milk on tap.
Yeah. Wherever I can get
Jesus.
Fresh fertile milk
Daniel,
on
Mm.
tap.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so good. Like
Portal.
Harry Potter's a good one. Actually, a portal would be cool. I feel like
We already said Digimon.
did
though,
you?
so-
Oh yeah, Digimon's be taken. I feel like what's a universe that has talking animals that isn't BoJack Horseman? Because I just wanna. I've always said like this is not your question, but to answer a different question, like if I could have any superpower, it would just be to communicate with animals. So I just want to create a world in which I can do that. So that's my answer. Is a different answer to a different question.
What about Marvel?
Would I be
Okay.
a superhero, or would I
Could
just
be.
exist in the Marvel? Like, would I just know Tony Stark, or would I be like Tom Holland knockoff Spider-Man?
That's fair.
That's fair. That's a great question. So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person we have spoken to has said it's the most important question.
Oh,
What's
man.
your favorite color?
I feel like there's so many layers here. I don't know.
Yeah, do you mean like to wear, to look at, to think
Mhm.
about? I've got to go yellow.
Taste. Let's go.
fair.
Yeah.
Yellow is the best color, but my skin tone is like already like has like a yellowy undertone. So when I wear yellow,
That has
It's
jaundice.
jaundice.
yeah.
Either is kind of the
Yeah. No, I'm on dialysis right now. It's off screen. You can't see it. But no, yellow just is not a flattering color on me. It looks like I'm wearing a jumpsuit of my own skin.
Oh.
But yellow's the best color.
Okay.
It is.
Oh, I'm so torn.
If you say blue, I'm leaving this interview.
I wanted to. I wanted to,
I knew it.
but I'm not going to. And I also want to say black, but I also
No, black is valid. Black is
black,
valid.
black is valid, but I just feel like that's such like my like I don't know. It's a cop out answer. I like red. Red's cool.
Oh, taste. Yeah.
All right, Daniel, you've
Um,
got some good ones left.
I really like. I kind of like a blue green. Is that okay? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Teal?
teal.
Like a seafoam.
I go
Mhm.
so hard for seafoam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seafoam slap from the Daniel
Yeah.
household.
Ah,
Does,
That'll just
yeah.
live in America all day.
you love to see it. All right.
Taste.
So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, plug.
On TV.
Oh yeah.
That's
we
pretty
got a
cool.
couple of things.
We're supposed to be on a TV show that is airing in CBS and going to be on Amazon Prime
In October.
in October this fall.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Sounds of the Underground.
Yeah, so
Keep
check
an
it
eye
out.
That's
out
so
for
cool.
that.
Yeah.
It's a live performance.
Yeah. Live performance and an interview in the first season, which we aren't on. So like, why would you bother watching it? But the first, you should check it out. I don't want to discourage the show, but you have to wait for the second season for us. But
Okay.
The first season is already on Amazon Prime, so you should definitely check it out and like sort of see the kind of vibe they're putting out. And then the second season, like, we're like,
That's so fucking cool. Oh my god.
and in addition, we'd like to plug that we did just release a music video for our lead single off of the album Nosedive that was entirely like outsourced from fans. So every clip in the song is submitted to us by like a real fan that listens to our music, and it really, I think, showcases like the amount of like talent and creativity that we have in our fan base of like all these people came together with like their own artwork and just themselves, and really like everybody I can tell like put a piece of themselves into this video. So we're super proud of it. So check out
Unbelievable.
the Nosedive video.
Yeah, that's a good one. And yeah, it's not a plug, but this is a really cool podcast. I like good noise, so
Yeah,
thank you so
thanks for
much.
having us.
Your questions were incredible. It was
Yeah.
so entertaining.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. And
Thanks.
thank you for coming on. This has been Sorry Ghost and We're the Good Noise podcast.